Okay, welcome to the Crypto Factor. Welcome to your favorite cryptopreneurship show. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be talking about this bear market. Is the bear market, the bear market rally, is the bull market, what's going on? And I'm going to be explaining to you exactly why most people, most influencers, most even experts are getting confused, and what you can expect and how you can take advantage of this rally that we are in right now, because there is a lot of confusion about what a bear market is, when we are in a bear market, when we are out of a bear market. I think a lot of people are confused, and I think I understand exactly why. So we're going to be talking about that today, and I will be answering your questions from the chat. So make sure you put your questions in the chat so I can answer them as I go on, and I will try and answer all questions. Now, do me a favor, this video is not sponsored, so if you don't mind, please hit the like button. And most importantly, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear what I am saying, if you can see me, because it is extremely important, because if I'm talking to myself, it's an issue. And you should be able to be seeing me on desktop, and you should be able to see me on your phone as well. Okay, so I see people can hear me and see me. Oh, so right. What's up, man? Welcome back. I see people can see me and hear me. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this bear market. Let's look at some levels. Let's look at what we can expect. So here's what's going on in crypto. Let me just open up my air conditioner real quick. Here's what's going on. And I think this is where the confusion lies. You have a bear market. We are in a bear market. Granted, we understand this. But you have to understand that there are bear market rallies, and you have to understand that there are bear market rallies that can actually become bull markets. As a matter of fact, you can have bull markets or bull rallies within bear markets. So right now, we can be in a bull market, we can be in a bear market, depending on price, obviously, and structure. But the confusion lies at the 4-year cycle when it comes to crypto. Because we are so used to saying, okay, 3 years up, one year we're doing okay, 2 years we're going up, 1 year is usually a bear market. Usually people take this time frame and say we are in a bear market, even though right now we're in a bull market. And I know that sounds weird. We're just in a smaller bull market within a bear market until proven otherwise. So let me explain this to you. We have the 4-year cycle, and you can look at the overall trend. So you have a bull market and a bear market. Now we're in the bear market phase. But within that bear market, we can have a smaller bull market. If you want to call it a rally, you can call it a rally. But when you see experts, when you hear experts saying we are in a bull market, they don't mean the 4-year cycle. They're talking in a technical analysis perspective, a stock market perspective, a forex perspective, generally a structure perspective. So we only have the crypto bull market, the crypto 4-year cycle in crypto. It's in no other industry. So with that said, when we broke above 74,000, which was previous structure, we are currently in a bull market. Now, because I am in crypto, I like saying we are in a bull rally until it becomes a bull market, if that makes sense. But that's a time frame issue, not a structural or price issue. Also, the 24%, 30, whatever, does not apply in crypto, all right? So that's where most confusion lies. So, saying that, let's look at the chart. Let me show you what's going on. Let me show you why we are in a bull market, or temporary bull market, or bull rally, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I'm just trying to explain to you what the definition is here, okay? So let's go to the charts real quick. So this is the Bitcoin chart over here, all right? Now, we came down. We came to the lows of 60,000, 59,000 something, okay? And we said we're going to drop from here. We're going to go to the low 60s. And we bought the bounce at $62,000. We bought the bounce at $62,000 for an expectation up to the top of this range over here, which we got, and we actually broke out at 74,000. Then I said we have to form a higher low. We did form a higher low right here. And now, this is the daily chart, the factor line turned gold. Not only did the factor line turn gold, I actually told you to buy down here, by the way, at this confirmation, but also it turned gold over here, and we are above the previous, the top of the current range over here. Okay, so we came up, we're coming down, and as long as this remains support over here, we have a chance of getting over $80,000 psychological. Now, $80,000 psychological for me is key. That confirms a bull market, whether it's short-lived, whether we dump after, whether it's a bull market within a bigger bear market is irrelevant. Right now, we are in a bull rally, which we called perfectly. We got in at 62K. We got even more in at $67,000 and $74,000 broke. We said, okay, we can start adding other positions. So we are doing good here. Now, we are in a bull rally with potential of it becoming a bull market. I'm not calling it a bull market yet, because even though we're above structure, I want to go to the close psychological of $80,000. I want to break that before I call it a bull market, if that makes sense. Now, my camera is stuttering here. Give me a second. Let me just fix my camera real quick. I'm having a camera issue where, for some strange reason, this choppiness happens. See this choppiness? I don't know why. So I think I can fix it by either going fast and then slow. Yeah? No? Shit. There you go. Now it's fixed. So it's kind of weird. I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. So anyway, so regardless, I digress. So right now the factor line is gold on the daily. And you see the trend stacker over here also in the gold. It was coming up. We were seeing it come up over here, which was my call. And we are now up in gold on the trend stacker. This is volume, momentum, and a couple of more factors on the factor line, which just shows that we have more upside, or probability, should I say, to the upside. Now, the factor line told you to sell this SFP pattern over here, which was correct, because we should have come down either here or lower to confirm we want to break above the previous range, or the previous bottom of this range, and make it support, and then break whatever point this was, okay? Then it's confirmed bull market generally. And this can continue, it can be short-lived, doesn't matter. It can come up here to the right shoulder, then come down, doesn't matter. But as long as it's going up and we're above here, we are in a bull market, okay? Now, we are also above $74,000. That's where structure broke to the downside and we entered the bear market. Now we are in a bull market, okay? Or bull market rally until it confirms into or becomes a bull market, okay? So, this is what's going on right now. Now, does this mean it's the bottom? Is this the Bitcoin bottom at $60,000? It's too early to say, but there is a chance that $60,000 is the bottom. Now, you might say, Paul, what are you talking about? Bitcoin has to fall 75% to 85% in bear markets. Yes, but I've made videos about this, and if you don't watch my videos, you don't know what the hell you're missing. You miss so much alpha, especially towards the end of the videos. But hear me out here. Yes, Bitcoin typically falls $70,000 to $75,000 to $80,000 to $85,000. But the dollar is a lot weaker than prior years. It's not that just gold went up, it's also the dollar went down, so gold is looking higher. Same with Bitcoin. Because the dollar is lower, Bitcoin seems higher on paper. So you may say, Paul, we only had a 50% drop or 55% drop. I'm seeing a 60-65% drop. And you never know, maybe we don't get to that 70% level. So the bottom may be in. Now, am I calling the bottom here? No. When I bought at $62,000, I made videos about it and live streams about it, talked about it in my group. I said, I'm buying 62K. if 62K breaks or 60K psychological breaks, we're probably going to go down to the $40,000 or $50,000 level. Okay, I said that. But I said, because the markets have a way of getting the noobs wrecked and the pros wrecked every single time we have a bottom, either we're going to exceed that, 38,200, or we're going to be less than that, 60K or 54K or 56K. You never know. You have to find that point that Bitcoin wrecks everyone. That's how I won the bet with Gareth Soloway last time. That's how I call these bottoms and tops, all right? So the wrecking point is potentially 60K. If it's not 60K, then it's the low 50s because everyone's expecting less, or beyond that 38,200, okay? But as long as 60K holds, we're doing good. Now, you might say, Paul, what if so you're saying we're going to have a shorter bear market? I said it's possible. I made videos we may have a possible shorter bear market when everybody was saying super cycle, business cycle, whatever's in fashion. I was saying, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to go by the 4-year cycle, but we may have a shorter bear market in the sense we may see the bottom come in sooner. What do I mean about that? I mean that we're still in a bear market, or we're still going to get bear market for 2026, but the Bitcoin bottom may be in, because don't forget, and I've said this over and over and over again, bear markets are not so much when it comes to crypto for the price drop that's the issue. It's the prolonged time down that gets everyone wrecked. Projects go obsolete, they get hacked, shit comes out, they can't sustain themselves, utility goes obsolete, and users, they get frustrated, they get bored, and they quit crypto. Why? Because when the price goes up and down in bull markets, if you really think about it, Bitcoin can even go down 40, 50% in bull markets. But you don't have a problem because you have that going up and down, and you're getting dopamine. You're getting dopamine, and you are used to the adrenaline, and you like it. It's like the casino. When you go to the casino, you enjoy the ups and the downs. People sometimes like to complain, I lost so much money, I lost this, I lost that. The real depression comes in when you lose all your money and you can't play anymore. It's the withdrawal symptoms that gets you wrecked because you're used to that dopamine, and when crypto stays down for so long, you miss that dopamine. You're missing that vibe. If Bitcoin just went down tomorrow to 40, 50K, then went up a week later to 50, 60K, or even 70K, you would love it. You're getting withdrawal symptoms. That is the issue here. That is the issue with bear markets, and the prolonged time that you can stay low with positive or bullish news and the price going lower or staying stagnant. That is key when it comes to crypto. So right now, we took our position with 1/3 of our cash, which we took profits. We got in at 62K. We got in again 67K and 70, and we have 1/3 of our cash position left. If 70K becomes resistance, in other words, if we start coming down, here, and we break under 70K, the likelihood of 60K seeing that or even breaking that and making that resistant increases. Therefore, at this point, we're out. Or you can even be safe and say once we break under the top of this range over here, you can also get out. That's your exit or your stop loss, depending if you're investing or if you're trading. Until then, we're staying in, baby. We're staying in. We're riding this. We're riding this bear market rally because bear market rallies can be significant and go 30, 40, even more %, which means alts can also do very well, even better. Or it can even turn into a bull market and you may end up missing it. And that is the key, and that is why people are getting wrecked in crypto every single time, every single cycle. Does that make sense? So, with that said, I am seeing no likes or very little likes. I'm seeing 11 likes. That's not enough. We need more likes. likes, hypes, whatever, not sponsored. We are just doing this for the love and for value. So with that said, let me see if you have any questions that I can go on. But I want to answer some questions here. First of all, also write welcome. It's been a while. Glad you are back. René, my man, is here. You can all hear me, see me. Aristoteles is saying he can hear me. Could you please, we can talk about Casper. I'm interested only in buying Solana. It's Solana at the right price. We'll talk about Solana. Let's start with Casper, then we'll go on to Solana. So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about altcoins in bear markets, or let me rephrase, altcoins at tops and bottoms. Generally speaking, I only chart altcoins in between, never the tops or the bottoms. Why? Because you can't. It's impossible. The best way is to chart Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin as a reversal, and then altcoins will either exceed Bitcoin on the way up or exceed Bitcoin on the way down if you are in the right altcoins. So there's no point in charting Solana bottom, Ethereum bottom. This is stupid. This is people that do this in crypto, I'm sorry to say, they're not very experienced in crypto, or they haven't found this missing link. Okay? The best thing to do is to chart Bitcoin. Then, once Bitcoin bottoms, yes, you can chart altcoins compared to Bitcoin to see if it's worth getting into, or altcoins versus altcoins to see if it's worth, if one altcoin is better than the other. You can chart strength and so on. But that's all the middle part. The top and the bottom, you chart Bitcoin. That's how I've been so successful with my early calls. When I called Solana $2 the first time and then $8.5 the second time, I was charting Bitcoin. And then I just had my narrative play, and I looked at Solana. I said, this is going to do well. And I didn't know it was going to go up that high. I mean, I just got in early. And then when I saw the strength of momentum, the mid-analysis in the middle of the bull market, that's when I was starting to see, and I was saying alts with Solana. That's how we're going to chart alts this time, not with Ethereum. That's how we got the mini alt seasons. That's how we called them, and so on. And look, I know this sounds simple, confusing, advanced, depending on who you are, but very few people trade crypto the way I do. Very few people have the factor line indicator. Very few people trade the crypto like I do, because it's not that I was just an investor and trader in crypto since 2017. But before that, I was an analyst when it came to TA. I used to teach TA in the Forex and stock industry. But I was also a C-level executive in 2017, speaker and author. Plus I had the channels and so on. So I'm living from crypto. The crypto is what I do. Like, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a CMO anymore. I'm living off of crypto. So call it inside information, call it experience, call it whatever you want, call it being genius, bold, and beautiful. but that's basically what I do. So with that said, I do have a course, and this is a quick plug. I'm not going to bore you with this. I do have a course called the Invest, Trade, and Think Like the Crypto Factor course. This is the link. I'll also leave it in the description down below. And with that course, you get lifetime access to the factor line indicator. I'm the only one that has this because I made this. You cannot get this. You cannot get anything close to this. If you like the analysis of the factor line, it comes with a course, lifetime subscription. That's it. That's the only way you can get it. And that's the plug. Check it out in the links in the description down below. See if it's for you. If it's not, it's okay. I get it. But the factor line indicator is an awesome indicator. I use it personally, and the only way you can get it is through my course. Now, do you need the factor line indicator? No, you can use any indicator you want. There's so many different ways you can trade crypto. There's Elliott wave theory. I don't do Elliott wave theory. I use the factor line indicator. I like playing ranges, breakouts, snap and cracks, and so on. That's what I teach in my course. I do swing trading. I don't do day trading. Those are more longer term moves. That's what I do, okay? If you like what I do, check it out. If it's not for you, that's okay. All I want is your like. That's it, right? Okay, now, with that said, where were we? Talking about Casper. Let's chart Casper with the factor line. Casper. So let's go trading view. Let's open up the factor line. Let's look at Casper. Now, there's two things you want to do here. I'm going to show you the easy way, and I'm going to show you the factor line way. I'm going to show you different ways to do this, okay? And we'll do this for the Casper. We'll do this for Solana. We'll do it for a couple of more if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, obviously, I want to answer more questions. So we'll try and do this fast. So let's do it with Casper first. So this is the Casper chart right now on the daily. We're going to do daily only, maybe 4 hour, but no more. So Casper, the chart, here's the interesting thing that I'm seeing right now, okay? See this range over here? Before the breakout to the upside? Turned gold right here. And then went gold all the way up, right? Look at this range we are in right now. And look what the factor line is telling you. It's gold right now. Now, before you run and buy this like a moron and ape into it, you have to understand that we have to break this range first and get into this prior range over here. So we have to break 0.04 psychological, in my opinion. And we have to do it in a way that breaks up, comes down, makes the support. Then once the previous high over here breaks, that's your sign in. The difference between here and here, and this is what a lot of people doing technical analysis get wrong, is here you don't have resistance. It's blue sky breakout. There's no resistance because there was never price. It was in price discovery. Here you have resistance levels. So you have to be extremely careful. It does not mean it's going to do this move again. Now, that said, it's gold, worth buying, but if it hits resistance and comes back down and breaks where it told you to buy, that's your exit. If it breaks above like this, comes up and breaks the previous high over here, that's your entry. So even though Casper's gold right now, it's no trade. This is the kind of stuff I teach in my course. Now, the factor line has a shortcut here. It's got the trend stacker. Currently in the red, this is volume momentum and a couple of other factors. That's not bullish yet. It doesn't really matter that much because this gold here, but I'm already seeing some weakness. We have to see what happens, okay? So that's Casper. Now, can Casper do well? Yes. Can Casper come back into narrative? Yes. Proof of work. Why not? Right? And now, before you all say, oh, it's better than Bitcoin, oh, utility, it doesn't matter. It's BS. I'm not saying Casper is BS. Utility does not matter. Look at meme coins. And it doesn't matter if it's better than Bitcoin, even though it's not. It doesn't matter even if it was. What matters is demand, supply, greed, and fear in markets. That's it. That's why we look at technical analysis. That's why we look at charts. News doesn't matter. Fundamentals don't matter. Link has the biggest utility in crypto and it didn't even budge. Why? Well, who knows? Supply and demand. Fear and greed. It didn't break its resistance. So the best way to get into coins is to do TA. See breakouts. Right? Utility doesn't matter. It can change tomorrow, become obsolete. People might not understand it. Maybe the Jimi Hendrix of coins, it doesn't matter. Right? TA. News doesn't matter. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. Look at everyone trading from news. All these channels trading off of news or having the news hit their bias when they were doing charts. They were messing up. One day they were bullish, the next day they were bearish, the same night they were bullish, 2 days after they were bearish, getting you wrecked left, right, and center. We just stayed bearish till 60K, then bullish above 62. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. Wars don't matter, it can go up or down. So many times it's done vice versa. Interest rates, I was screaming they don't matter. It went up while they were cutting, they went down while they were cutting, it went up, down while they were doing vice versa. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. By the time you hear the news, it's either too late, priced in, or irrelevant. Or they want you to hear that news. There's news for the masses and news for the classes. You only get the news for the masses. The insiders have the news for the classes. They're the class. You're not the class. We're not the class. We're the mass, if that makes sense. Right? That said, let's talk about Solana. And again, you're pricing Bitcoin. If you're pricing Bitcoin, you're getting in on Solana. But let me just check the charts and see if it's... Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. Back to Casper real quick. The second thing you want to do when you're charting a coin, we'll do Solana in a second, is you don't just want to chart USDT, but sure, it's gold. It might go up compared to USDT. But what is it doing compared to Bitcoin? Right? Because maybe I might want to do cast there, Paul. Because maybe, just maybe, you see something like this and you're not buying this. Why are you not buying this? Who can tell me why you are not buying this? Let me draw some lines here, and then maybe you can understand why you're not buying this. All right? Look, how am I drawing these lines? They're not random. The bounce right here, top right here, top right here. That's a line, okay? I'm doing another line right here. Not random, but if you look at charts, they usually respect bounce, bounce. This was a fake out, bounce, so there's support and resistance. So this is what? This is a range. Yes, congratulations. This is a range right here. And look, the bounce wasn't that strong. It came up to the range, the top of the range, came back down, factor line red, trend stacker red. The likelihood of this going down, making this resistance coming down and breaking this, I'm not saying it is high. And if that happens, more downside can be expected. Now you might say, Paul, but you just said Casper's going up. Yes, but compared to Bitcoin, it's going down. So why hold something but Bitcoin is outperforming? Does that make sense? So yes, Casper is a Bitcoin competitor, if you want to put it that way. But compared to Bitcoin, it's going down right now. So why not just hold Bitcoin? It's safer. But Paul, you get a lot less and maybe goes up. We don't do maybes here. If it breaks the range on the upside, if for whatever reason this holds, comes up, makes a higher low, breaks, makes this support, and then breaks the top of the breakout here, you're buying. And then you have a clear stop loss here. Right? Now, if you're in Casper, you're not selling here. You're selling if it comes under this line. That's your stop loss here, if that makes sense. But this is when it makes sense to buy higher. You could buy this bounce at the very least. And then if it breaks and comes down and goes under your buy point, that's your stop loss. There's different ways to do this. This is what I teach in my course. This is why it's so important. How to invest, how to trade, how to think, how to use TA, how to use candles. It's all in there. Now, hope you all understand that, right? You all get this. So I wanna make sure that during this time, I've been doing a lot of educational videos because I'm trying to teach people how to fucking make money and stop getting wrecked. Because I hear a lot of shit out there from YouTubers, from influencers, and they're getting you wrecked either because they're day traders, you're not day traders and just going up and down every day. Because if you're making content on YouTube, day trading works, you get more views. Swing trading like I do, well, guess what? You're doing a video on trading every week or two. Well, it's not very good for the YouTube algorithm, but it works better, especially in crypto. So the problem is you're listening either to day traders where you're not day traders and you're just going up and down every day, which is great for their titles. Golden Cross this, fucking bear massacre that, but it's not good for you. And swing trading, what I'm doing right now, it's good for you, but it's a bit boring because you take a trade every week or two, or maybe even more sometimes. But the amount that goes up, you stay in more, you stay in longer, you know your positions, it's actually much easier, and you can actually make more profits. So, with that said, I want to make more videos educating you guys on how to think and how to actually make money in crypto or whatever you're doing. Because I don't think, the price goes up, coin goes up is great, it gets me views, and it got me views, And my channel suffered with low subscribers and low views because I try to put out more educational content. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because I promise that this channel started to help you. And that's what I'm doing. During the bull market, it's okay. Prices will go up. Even if I don't get subscribers or views, sponsors will come. Sure, they won't pay me as much as Crypto Banter, but it's okay. It's fine. I can live off that. I can sell a couple of courses. I'm good. So anyway, Arcadia says I'm here. Awesome. So let's talk about Solana. Let's chart Solana the same way we charted Casper. Okay, let's do that. So let's go back to the chart over here. And instead of Casper, let's do Solana, USDT. Oh, SIL. Sorry about that. SIL. I was about to say SIL again. Okay, so I was cleaning my keys earlier on. Yeah. So I was cleaning my keys earlier on. Bear with me a second. I need to switch these keys. And I kind of put them on upside down. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. So, Solana, USDT. All right, so let's have a look at the Solana price. Now, the factor line is showing you the range here. The factor line actually gives you ranges over here. You're in a no trade zone. All right, trend stacker is at neutral. You're in a no trade zone. Why? Because with this range needs to break. This is a perfect call right now. This right here is the perfect opportunity. Why? You're watching, you're sitting on your hands. If it breaks up, let me get rid of these drawings. If this range breaks up, makes this support, and starts coming up, that's your buy signal. If it breaks under this range, makes it resistant and comes down, that is your sell signal. I'm not saying it can go up and down. Obviously it can. But you're selling if this becomes resistance, and you're selling and you're buying if this becomes support. Very simple. Solana is the perfect trade right now. Now, as it's coming up, beware of resistance about 120. And if it starts trading in this range, you can actually make a little bit of money here. Try and take profits. And then when you take profits, you just get back in if it breaks out again, and this would be a bull market. I don't see this happening this year. Let's see what happens. I see it trading in this circle over here. Does that make sense? So you're in a no trade zone. You're in a perfect zone because you have a very tight range, and you're waiting for the breakout and the breakout confirmation in either direction before you buy or sell. So either you sell lower or you buy higher, and I understand that sounds crazy. I understand that it doesn't make sense. Yeah, but that's how you do it, because then you have clear stop losses and exits, and that is how you trade. So this is the perfect setup for Solana. But let's not forget, we have to look at Bitcoin, because yes, it's the perfect trade in USDT. Let's see if it's the perfect trade in Bitcoin. And this might be an indication of a mini alt season. If the price goes up, let's see what the charts show, and let's see if that's the case. We don't know yet. I haven't looked at the charts yet. Let's have a look and see. All right? So let's go Solana, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Oh my God, these keys. Sorry, 1 second. Again, these are upside down. V is supposed to be here. Give me a second. V Vendetta. There you go. There's C. All right. So Solana, Bitcoin. All right. And we want, yeah, this one. You're not buying Solana. Why are you not buying Solana? Can anyone tell me? Oh, wait. Yeah, you're not buying Solana. Can everyone see here why you're not buying Solana? All right, I'll tell you the trend stacker way. Sorry, I'll tell you the factor line. Generally speaking, right now, the chances are Solana is going to do something like this and continue to the downside. Why? Because it broke on, it's just breaking under the range. Unless it can save it right now, it's breaking under this range. If it breaks under and can't get above straight away, it's more likely to go down. Plus the trend stacker here is in red, So that's volume, momentum, a couple of other factors. Chances are this will start coming down. When would I buy Solana? I would only buy Solana, maybe this is a fake out, comes up, makes its support, then breaks the top of the range and makes that support. That is when I'm buying Solana. Does that make sense? Otherwise, even though on USDT is one picture, on Bitcoin is the other picture. So right after this video, about 20% of my Solana holdings is actually going to become Bitcoin. It's safer, why not? And I can always get back in higher if I really want to. Yeah, I'll lose some, so what? We're going by probabilities. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying that Solana won't go up. I'm not saying that Solana can't go up. But the difference between buying blind or swing trading and investing with strategy and concepts, that is the difference. Okay? So, with that said, let's have a look at more of your questions. And let me know, do you like these kind of videos? They're slow-paced, explaining, answering questions, trying to be more beginner-friendly. Because the truth is, because I live off of crypto, sometimes I get over my head and I speak in rhetoric that may be a bit advanced for the normal person. And then I realize that people that watch live streams, yes, I have some pros watching, obviously, to see what I'm doing. I get it. But most people are beginners or intermediates. So I want to slow it down and explain things to them. So if you like these kind of, just let me know by hitting the like button or just telling me in the chat that you like these videos. I would really appreciate it. And if you're watching this on the replay after, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I want to educate people. But people sometimes, they don't take free advice. People seldom take free advice. It's psychological. If you pay $1,400, $1,900 or something, or you have to pay for someone to give you advice, you tend to pay more attention. If you hired me, my coaching is $480 an hour. You can do it right now in the links in the description down below. I'm not making a call. I'm not telling you to go buy it. Just hear me out. I'm saying if you pay me, you're more likely to listen to me. When people give you free advice, no one takes free advice. Okay? So I'm trying to give you free advice. Hello, Paul. I hope you are doing great. Is Solana a good No. I just showed you. I just charted Solana. Check it out. I explained why. Not saying it might not become good if it breaks up, but right now, I would wait. I would take my hands and sit on them, meaning not trading until we have a direction. As a matter of fact, I might be offloading some of my Solana. What token would perform like Solana? So right now, it's very early, but I am looking at three narratives, or a couple of narratives, that may catalyst the next bull market. Or I'm talking about the deep bull market after in the 4-year cycle-wise, right? If you don't know why I'm saying that, watch the beginning of this video. So there are a few coins that can do this. One Sui, all right, for a few reasons. I was saying it's going to do a Solana type move last bull market. It really didn't. It did very well, but it didn't do a Solana type move. Maybe the next one is its time, but that's just guesstimating. But you have three narratives. One is AI, obviously. We're going to have AI back, but it's going to be coupled with X402 tokens, all right? The other one is perpetual dexes. And perpetual dexes, I would look at something like Hype or Aster that could do something like, maybe even better than Solana. Solana will do well. Will it do as well as the previous and the cycle before that? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Usually, a coin like Solana will have a cycle or two before something else replaces it, kind of like Binance coin, right? So we're looking for new coins for the next cycle. But it's too early to tell. I'm not telling you holding Solana is wrong. You should, in my opinion. I'm just saying be wary. If you're trading it, look at the levels I told you. If you're holding it, be wary of what I'm saying, because there's opportunity cost factored in and so on. So look at that, and let's see if privacy actually goes up and Zcash is something crazy. But let's see. It's too early to tell, but right now I'm looking at perpetual dexes and X402 tokens. If you don't know what X402 tokens are and which ones to buy, check out my channel. Go to my video section. Let me show you, because I don't want to spend too much time on each question, because I want to answer more questions. I want everyone to get their the question answered. Just go to my channel here, And if you go to videos, you should see, by the way, you should watch this bear market rules. If you haven't watched this video, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're doing. Watch this bear market rules over here and watch these 7 crypto myths. If you're not, I told you. But if you move down a little bit, you should see, where are we? These altcoin narratives could 30x in 2026. This is one of them. And the other one is top 2026 altcoin narratives, including X402. Watch these videos, explains what X402 is, which ones to watch, okay? Those 2 videos. How much is a good investment for meme coins? Right now, 0. Right now, 0, because Bitcoin is outperforming all of them. Why would you buy meme coins right now? You have the chance and the opportunity to buy some coins you wish you bought last cycle in the beginning. Meme coins don't usually run first. You are just remembering the meme coin from last time. Look, I called meme mania. I called meme mania perfectly. Before that, I called Pepe coin before anyone else. Okay? But right now, you have the opportunity of getting into the bottom of the market or close to the bottom of the market. Easy 5-10x with Bitcoin, probability-wise. Easy 10-20x with coins like Solana, maybe Sui, and so on. Why would you get a meme coin? Paul, because you can do 100x. Yeah, but you can make a certain capital and then maybe allocate some of those profits into meme coins when the time comes. Right now is not the time for meme coins. Like, I don't know who you guys listening to on YouTube, but you gotta stop that shit, dude. This is why most people are poor. And most of the crypto influencers don't think they're doing that well. There's very few. The ones you hear about that are doing well, they're doing well, but very few are doing well. Most of them go wrecked. I want to buy and hold for a while, no trade. Then just go Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, but be very careful. It's because you're locking up capital, and then you have opportunity cost problems. Because if you see a narrative break out, you have your capital locked. You might not be able to get into the other, or it might blind you to get into the other coin. But if it's long-term, Bitcoin only, bro. You're very welcome. I try to respond to all questions. By the way, I do have a private group where you can talk to me directly. It's the VIP Factor. That's also linked in the description down below. You don't have to buy it. I'm just saying it's $89 a month. You can get that. You see my portfolio, my calls, and so on, and you have access to me almost 24 hours a day. Just putting that out there. Osama says, I bought a lot of Casper when it was 16, and I was telling people don't buy it. I was telling people that, because we got into Casper at 3 cents. Or less than that, but so not right at the beginning, but pretty close to it because I was in the hospital. I was fighting cancer at the time, so I got in a bit late. But we rolled it up, and I said, listen, if it doesn't break 20 cents, get out. So I was selling at 16 and 14 cents. If I remember correctly. I might have made a mistake here, Casper coin. What's the price? Yeah, it's 0.03. So let's see if it continues. As I said, watch the analysis earlier on. Can it get to 50 cents? Can it? As I can? Sure. But the question is, you should be asking, is it probable? I don't know. It had its major run. Will it have a secondary run in this cycle? We don't know. Someone says it's a really amazing video. Thank you. You're very welcome, man. Hey, Paul, do you believe in... I don't know what it is. Is Sui a good price? Let's have a look at Sui technical analysis-wise. And I like Sui, so I might be a bit biased. I'm not going to be biased because of charts, but this is why having charts is good, because I really like Sui. Sorry. So look, I even have my chart from last time. I said Sui, it needs to come up and break above $2 psychological for me to get interested again. And I was expecting it to reject at the top of the range. I think we talked about it right here. See, I drew the drawing right here. I said, look, boom, boom. See, exactly. I'm a prophet here. Sometimes I get lucky. This is actually a very good call. But as you can see, we came down, and we're now forming a range down here. Okay, good news is we have a good chart to work off because the factor line gave you this range down here. So if we come up, make it support, and come into this range and make it support, then it's a buying opportunity for a move to the mid-range or even to the top of the range and then take profits before we reevaluate. Because it might come down, might go up, we'll see. If it comes under this range and makes this resistance, you're getting the fuck out. And chances are it can reach here or maybe even lower down here, which I don't really want to say. I don't want it to do this. I'm holding SWI because I also have long-term portfolios, not just swing trading and trading portfolios. But yeah, it's a good range to watch. It's kind of like this one here. But again, this time you have resistance areas to worry about. Over here, you didn't have resistance areas because it was clean blue sky break. Oh, I had some, but not too much. Anyway, the question is, what's SWI doing against Bitcoin? Because this is the time you're buying Bitcoin and you are charting everything into Bitcoin to see if it's a better price. And look, Bitcoin already broke under the range. So no, it's not a good price to buy. Chances are it will go lower because it broke under this range over here. I'm sorry that wasn't straight, but you get what I mean. So no, it's not a good time to buy SWI, unfortunately. I'm holding SWI. I might offload some into Bitcoin. Not all of it, obviously, because I do my long-term holds as well. Well, I just went all in Solana, dude. Congratulations. I'm not saying, again, I gave you either learn technical analysis. Look, you either learn to drive and you start driving, or you don't learn to drive, you get into a car and you try to get to your destination without taking driving lessons. Both work. Both will probably get you there. One, you're going to crash a lot on the way. The other one, you'll get eventually there. One might kill you. One's got less probabilities of killing you, right? Because you all have, right? So it's up to you. I'm not saying Solana won't go up. I'm not saying don't buy it. You do whatever you want. If you want to be poor, go ahead. I'm just kidding. I actually like Solana. I'm actually holding Solana as well. I have my Solana positions, right? But if you're buying, I wouldn't buy right now, and I explained why. And it's your decision if you want to learn, so you're not going in blind and you get tools, or it's your decision, like, you know what, I can't be bothered, I'm lazy, I have TikTok brain, I'm just going to buy whatever happens. I'm not trying to offend you here, I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you understand how to make money, right? How to live off crypto. I live off crypto. Crypto is what I have. I am crypto. I'm the crypto factor. All right? Did my little Iron Man thing there. So the question is, do you want to learn how to trade or swing trade or invest, or do you want to just blindly do it? And that's fine. You can do either way. Dude, you're not going to change my life. You're not going to change it for me. Like, I've made a shitload of money in crypto. I mean, I'm all over the world in crypto. I'm in Dubai, I'm in Romania, I'm in Sweden. I'm traveling 7 times a year in 5-star hotels. Right? You do you. Thoughts on Cetus? It's a bit too early. It's a bit too early to look at Cetus. It's built on SWI. SWI is doing bad or not doing good compared to Bitcoin. I wouldn't even look at Cetus right now. Very simple. Chart Bitcoin for bottoms and tops, and then chart altcoins in the mid-markets, as I said earlier on. I have no idea what those coins are, Franny. I just made a decision, Paul. I'm going to buy SWI instead of Solana. Dude, they're both non-buy area. They're both in mini ranges, waiting for the breakout to the downside or the upside. Why can't you wait? Why is there no patience in this world? There's a concept that says sit on your hands. Now, you can do whatever you want, but there's a concept that says sit on your hands, right? Wait for the range. You can buy back higher. It's fine. And, oh my God, you can buy back higher. Or you could sell lower. It's up to you. And again, thank you. You're very welcome, man. You're very welcome. If you had to pick, which would you choose, Paul? Sui or Solana? I wouldn't pick right now. I would be sitting on my hands right now. I would not pick right now. There is such a... You can't say no. I already talked about Casper, Amir. You can go back and watch it. We actually talked about it quite a lot in this live stream. Paul, if you had $8,000, I do have $8,000. Paul, if you had $8,000, what would you buy spot position and when will you buy? Bitcoin only, maybe some hype, maybe some Solana if it breaks out, but most of it, 6,000 at least, would be Bitcoin. And I would have already bought like I did. Or I would wait for 80K to become support, then buy with a clear stop loss under 80K, which is more logical at this point. If you didn't buy at 62K, which I told you to, and 67K, I would wait for 80K to become support. If that makes sense. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed this live stream. Really hope you learned something. Maybe yes, maybe no. A lot of people are going to ignore me. Going to come back every single time in about a year. Oh, so we should have listened to you. It's okay. It's fine. You'll learn the hard way. Thank you very much. I would appreciate a like, whether you agree with me or not. I would appreciate you liking this video. I would appreciate you checking out my channel. I would appreciate you checking out my links. And I would appreciate you having a great day. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next live stream video, whatever. Take care. Bye-bye.